Have you ever quit a job because of either a dumb customer or poor management decision? What's your story? Story number 1. Definitely. I got transferred to different duties and boss said, "You report to Jill now." The part he did not say, but that is all true, is Jill is the 20-year-old lifeguard I met at the pool, so I hired her and we're sleeping together. Please help me keep this a secret from my wife. That's the only time I've said I'm leaving and I won't be back. Story number 2. Poor management for sure. I'm a nurse and had a previous job at a rehab facility. There was many a nights where I was the only med nurse working, 12-hour shifts, for about 100 patients. It was hell. Management didn't even bother get me help. On top of admissions and everything else, it sucked. And let's not forget some of the people who worked there actually sleeping with the patients. And nothing really being done about it. Needless to say, the patients ran that place and I got tired of it. Story number 3. I can't call it poor management decision, but I've definitely quit jobs because management made a decision that was not aligned to my career goals. Such is life, sometimes things don't work out. I've worked several tech startups in my life and pretty much all of them I quit because of some management decision that created a significantly unfavorable situation for me. I don't really want to dox myself on this throwaway account. The stories aren't anything special for me, I'm sure it happens to tons of people. I had one where management decided to close a particular office location, so everyone had to go to the other bigger location. I'm sure that looked great on paper, cost savings and all, but the other location was way too far away for me to commute to. At least twice I've selected a job based on the technology I'd be working on, only to be there for a few months and due to a reorg I end up assigned to something that does not contribute to my skill set the way I wanted. I have certain career goals and have decided on a series of steps to reach that goal. I select jobs based on meeting the criteria of those steps. If a job pulls the rug out from under me, then I gotta bail. Story number 4. Years ago, I worked at Goldwater Department Store as a sales clerk. One day the vice president and her assistant walked by me and reprimanded me for standing with my arms crossed on the sale floor. My department area was freezing that day, in Arizona in July is not sweater weather. After her tirade, I followed them both back to her office and sat down in front of her desk and asked her if she'd like to apologize for her very rude exchange. She replied with such sarcasm and condescension that I calmly removed my badge, slapped it on her desk, and told her to go fuck herself. Just thinking about the look on those two cunts' faces still makes me smile all these 40 years later. Story number 5. Years ago. Was the crew leader for a movie theater. Believe it or not, they were filming an HBO movie in our area. Well, I had put in as an extra, and since they were using our movie theater as a screening for their film footage, I got an on-screen piece with 2 friends of mine. Well, you know, it isn't just a quick film and you are done. Took 5 hours and I made a few calls to get someone to fill in for me until I got to work. I was actually 30 minutes late and my stand-in was happy for the hours. I got in and had to train 3 new people. Well, 2 hours later my general manager called me about being disappointed I was late even though I had a spotless track record and I had called an attempt until I got there. Plus took on training the new people and decided I would stay later to make up for the lost time. Well, he said I probably wouldn't get my pay raise next week for my evaluation, which would have put me on par with 3 of the assistant managers that I had 3 years more experience on. I told him I was done. I quit that day and he went into a panic. 3 days later the district manager came in and learned all the assistant managers didn't know a damn thing because I had been doing their jobs for the last 2 years without the title or pay. They got into a fight right there in front of customers who then walked out of the theater. The district manager got so pissed she fired 2 of them on the spot. Then demanded answers from the general manager why these people were promoted if I had been doing the job. He admitted they were sleeping with the other managers. She then told them to pack their bags and fired the entire management staff. She called me the next day and told me all this and even almost begged me to come back. I told her that I busted my ass for over 4 years. Covered and trained over 300 employees in that time and was passed up 8 times for promotion because I wouldn't sleep with another assistant manager. I told her I was done. The 80% of the staff quit over the next 3 weeks. They promoted the 5 people I had trained to be the new managers, and guess what? They knew what they were doing. The theater was bought out a year later. Only 1 manager stayed as they never finished college or school, and they are still there after 2 more buyouts. Story number 6. Kinda both. I used to work at McDonald's, was such a bubbly kid when I started. Would get berated by customers over things out of my control, and management would hear how people spoke to me and never step in. Would go home angry/sad. I graduated and got out of there. Story number 7. Level 1. Boyd's Food 2. 4 hours ago. A series of bad management decisions, actually. Worked for a shared office space company a few years back. I was the manager of my location, and in our region, there was something like 46 locations across 4 states. Each location had 120-300-ish different accounts, some being clients that physically used the space and some being virtual members. Every Friday, our regional manager had us doing this report that took a couple hours to do. Basically, you listed every client, the end date of their current agreement, and then some more about the likelihood they were going to renew. I quickly thought this was stupid to do, especially weekly. The shortest agreement someone could be on would be 30 days. Everyone else was 6, 12, or 24 months. And am I to imagine our regional vice president actually cares about the continual chance of month-to-month accounts renewing? Also, was I to imagine that our RVP actually reviewed all of the info provided in each center's report every week, cross-referencing it with the previous week's data? 12,000 accounts worth of data? I would regularly put in my notes, "You're not reading this," just to prove to myself this goober didn't read it. In talking to the other managers in my area, they'd been doing this report for years. And our job should be to provide the clients a good experience, so taking us away from that for this report that takes hours to complete and isn't used for anything felt like a complete waste. So then the company has this thing one spring where it was a town hall portal, where you could make anonymous suggestions for improving the operations of the company. I posted that the report was a waste of time, especially given the frequency we had to do it. Literally the next day, I get a call from some dude in California. He's apparently the regional vice president's boss. So I wasn't anonymous, apparently, and I wanted to be, because the RVP was the time to literally say it was his way or the highway, email back in all caps to yell electronically, etc. He asked for more info on the report. I gave it to him. He asked why we were being asked to do it. I told him I didn't know. He asked a ton of questions that told me he had no clue what my asshat boss was requesting. He thanked me for the feedback. The day after that, we got a message from the area manager, the lady under the RVP that just oversaw my state, saying we no longer had to do that report. And a week after that, I got fired for breaking a company policy that I didn't know was a company policy. And a couple weeks after that, the RVP got fired. Thank you guys for watching and hope you guys have a great day. Please like, subscribe, and comment Cookie, and I will heart all comments that say Cookie. Also check out my main channel JJB00M.